guys, welcome to or welcome back to Willow Creek Homestead. My name is Kenzie if you are new around here. And as you can see, some things are a little bit different down in the pantry. If you have not watched my short videos, my father-in-law got the rest of this entire shelving done for me, and I can't keep a secret. I have realized that I'm really bad about that. I wanted to do like a surprise video, but I couldn't wait to show you guys because I know that these things bring you guys as much enjoyment as it does me. So we got all the shelving done. Now it's still not entirely finished. We will be adding things in the front of all of these shelves just to make sure that nothing falls over. But we have our work cut out for us today, you guys. I have tons of bins and things with household products, still more canned goods, lots of things to redo. Some of these things, now that I have additional shelving, I can kind of move around and put in their forever spots. So yeah, like I said, we have our work cut out for us. We're just going to pick up right where we left off and start putting things in their forever homes and getting this pantry finalized. Okay, so the first thing right off the bat is I have all of my canning jars up here, and now that I have the extra shelving, I'm gonna take all of these dry goods and things that were up here, get those off the top of the shelf and start moving jars over because I do have several other boxes with jars in them as well. And now that we have the extra shelving space, it'll be nice to just have one designated location for all of this. I was gonna do it on the bottom shelf, but then it's almost like if I put these jars on the bottom shelf, then what am I gonna put on the top shelf? You know what I mean? So I think it will work out better if I move all of these over a bit and organize them just a little bit better. And then I guess we will just use the top shelf for extra jars. And if something changes later on down the road, we can always move it. Obviously, we don't want to have to do that, but if it becomes too much to reach these from the top shelf, then I will just move them on the bottom later on. Okay, and then I also have tons of these extra boxes. So I'm gonna go ahead and start sticking some of these extra jars that are everywhere in here and just getting these out of our way as well. Okay, so there's one. And then I also have this big box here that's completely full of jars. I think I'm just gonna leave these jars in that box. Problem? What problem? I don't have a problem. Okay, so the next thing that I'm gonna move on to really quick is all of the household items. And then I can kind of go back and do the canning goods and things. And the top of that does not have to look perfect. I'm just trying to think methodically about where I want stuff. So don't judge me for how much household stuff I have, you guys. I couponed for years. So we just have like an absolute stockpile of any and everything that you could possibly ever want or think of. And some of you were like, I don't think you should put your cleaning products in the same area as your like canning goods. And normally I would agree with that, but this room is so huge that I think I can separate everything adequately and it won't be an issue. So I have quite the pile down here. I have more out there. So like these, for instance, these are all toothbrushes. Like I have an entire thing full of them. So maybe we'll do like personal care products, cleaning products, and then we're also going to take inventory so that I can kind of come up with things that we need, like toilet paper, paper towels, I know for sure is something else that we need to get stocked back up on. But once I have everything in its kind of like designated areas, then it'll be easier to make my list. So then these are a bunch of sanitizer wipes. There's like little ones with sharks and cocoa melon and all kinds of stuff. These are just really nice to have on hand for the kids and stuff to take with them to school. So I always make sure that we're stocked up on those. And then here is a bunch of Swiffer wet mopping cloths. And we will just start putting those over here. And then I also have tons of razors. I need to find a container to put all of that in. This is Mean Green Pine Power Cleaner. This is one of our absolute favorites. Some of this stuff needs wiped down, others don't really need wiped down, but I did bring down wipes just in case. And I have not gotten to the point where I'm using like non-toxic household cleaning products and things. Obviously I have a ton of this stuff, so this is what I'm going to use so that I don't have to buy new. But eventually, whenever we rotate through all of our stuff, that is on my list, is to kind of minimize the products that have toxic household ingredients and kind of start switching them out slowly and surely. My father-in-law helped us pack and move at the old house whenever my husband and I were working. So like a lot of this stuff, you guys, has just been thrown into containers. I don't really know like where all of my stuff is. So it's a little bit of a surprise with each one that we open and have to put away, because a lot of things just got thrown down in the basement. And that's kind of the unfortunate part about moving and like having this big of an area to fill, is like things just get put in boxes, but better late than never to go through it all. And then like these are extra tissue packets. I'm just gonna go ahead and stick these in with the Lysol wipes for now. That is some hair coconut oil that I always just have extras of. And then here are some mini Pantenes. I don't use Pantene on my hair, but it is nice to just have little travel size things. You know, if you go on vacation or something, or for the kids, you can just use those. And the thing with couponing is, you guys, like some of these products I don't typically use, but if I find them for a really good price or like on sale, obviously I do like to buy them and stock up on them. Just, you know, in case of an emergency or something, it's nice to just have extra products, you know, on hand, even if it's not something you use all the time. If you can get it for a better deal and you're not super, super picky, it's nice to be able to stock up with it. And then this is just tons of different hand sanitizers. I know somebody is also probably going to be like, Febreze is terrible. I know it's terrible, but it smells so good. So I keep a lot of it. Here is just a bunch more cleaner, you guys, and some Lysol spray. And then this whole little drawer is filled with smell goods. I have a serious problem with wax melts, so don't judge, because I have quite a lot of them. The downy ones are my favorite. They make your house smell so incredibly good and fresh. So we are just gonna start stacking all of these by the Febreze. And I haven't actually done any couponing in about a year and a half. Usually how I do it is I'll go really, really hard for like 2 years and get like a big stock up, and then I don't have to go couponing or like do any of that for another couple of years, because it is a lot of work. But I'm curious to know if any of you guys do couponing. I used to run a couponing page on Facebook. Actually, we had like 30,000 people in there, and then Facebook took my page down. It was really, really sad. And I just like didn't have it in me to restart the page, but it was so fun. I met a lot of like really awesome, amazing people that love to shop deals just like I do. And I think eventually I'm going to try and find some more of these containers to put like the wax melts and stuff in, just because I think it looks a little bit more aesthetically pleasing on the shelf. But for now, we are just getting stuff put away and trying our best to get it up here. That's the biggest thing, is to where it's not in boxes and totes. And then these are just like some little Airwick essential oils. I know those are terrible. Please do not yell at me. But you know what? On the plus side, I guess you can say what you want about me, but you can't say my house smells, because my house always smells really, really good, because I'm constantly doing these things. Even though they're bad, it still just smells really good. And then these are just a bunch of little Febreze plug-ins. I have quite a few of them. And at the store, these are like, I don't know, $5 or $6, and you can just keep reusing them. So I always just keep them no matter what. Okay, you guys, so I went out and grabbed like all of these extra containers These are just various different things. So I have like like a snack tray, you know, like for the holidays and stuff. This I'll actually pull out during Thanksgiving, rewash it, and then we'll use it. But I have tons of just like these containers that I have found at TJ Maxx and Marshall's for like the refrigerator, for veggies, for, you know, different things that I have like around the house. And I'm trying to work on like my storage container stuff and just getting my house organized. So I did pick up a lot of these. However, that is not a priority on my list like at this very moment. So I'm just going to stick all of this stuff down below for now. These are kind of cool too, you guys. These are Roots and Harvest. They are meant to carry your jars. Now, they're quite expensive, so it doesn't really work like very well if you're on a budget or whatever. Like, it wouldn't be worth buying a bunch of these, but it does fit a bunch of jars, and then it has handles right here. And then I also use these to harden off my seedlings because I use little plastic cups. So I'll just put them all in one of these and carry them outside, and they are actually very handy and nice to have. So we'll stick those down there as well. I found one thing of bleach in a tote, so I just put that down there. And then this shelf will do like toilet paper, paper towels, that sort of thing. And I'll move that one up top, but for now I'm just gonna separate the bleach. I also found some of these shelves out there. So like these are really, really cool. This one is for like spices and stuff. You can use them in your kitchen. But then I can also separate the shelf into two, and there's 3 of them on here that are really long. So for maybe like some of my dry goods and my jams and jellies, once I get everything put where I want it, I will use these to separate that out, and then we'll create 2 shelves out of this one. So then here is everything that I have up here so far, just for like all of my cleaning supplies. And then down below here is a bunch of like personal care, Germex, that sort of thing. I thought the rest of my stuff was down here, like in the basement, but I think I still have more household stuff out in the garage. So I might have to go out there and get that eventually too and bring it down here. The next thing I'm gonna work on though is over here in these boxes, I have tons of jars of things that I know my family and I are not gonna eat. So I need to take all of those jars out, dump them out, wash the jars, and then we need to bring the empty jars down and put them back up here. And then I was also gonna tell you guys, don't forget, this shelf behind me and like this area is also going to be like our seed starting area. And in a future video, we will do all of that together as well. So, plus we have that filled with crap too. I don't know, I have a lot of stuff, you guys. Every single time I do this, I'm like, what am I doing? But then I remembered that it's better to be prepared and overwhelmed, and it's a blessing, than none at all. You know what I mean? Okay, you guys, don't mind the dishes in my sink, please. I have not gotten there yet. But the next step that we need to do is start going through these boxes and emptying out these jars. Now, a lot of this stuff is from 22 and 23. This is just extra stuff that I had made like for the holidays, or maybe it was a new recipe that I was trying, and my family and I just didn't really like it. So I know it sucks to dump all of this out, but I know that this is not going to get used by my family. This is all old stuff. It's not fresh or anything that I can this year. So instead of just holding on to it because I feel guilty for not using it, I'm going to dump it out, load my dishwasher with all of the jars, and then make space for more canned goods. And I wanted to say, as I start doing this, I have a pot right here. I'm gonna put the stuff in here and then go dump it outside instead of putting it all in my trash cans. But something I wanted to tell you guys is whenever you first start preserving food and things, you will learn what your family likes and what you don't like and what you would rather spend your time preserving, but that comes with preserving things and trying them. So I know it's hard not to feel guilty about potentially wasting these things, but at the same time, just remember that you are ultimately making more room, emptying more jars, and then that allows you to can more things for your family that you guys actually enjoy and you will actually use and love. And I have quite a little bit that has to be gone through, unfortunately. And if you guys were wondering like why I don't have a lot of jams and jellies and things on my shelf, it's because we used all of the ones that like we really, really enjoyed. And then some of the other ones were just like experiments. And I just haven't had the space to make a bunch more of them. So now that we are going through all of this, we can fill the pantry shelf up with more jams and jellies and things. I did do a bunch of peach jam, and that is back on my channel if you are interested in watching that. But other than that, I really didn't can a whole lot of them this year. So definitely need to get more back up on the shelf. And I have some holiday jams that we're gonna do together as well. I did that with you guys last year, like a homemade gift series where we'll do some canning projects and like meals in a jar and stuff to pass out. So we'll get a bunch made then as well. And just so you guys know, there are people that will yell at me for this because this stuff is only 2 years old. Your canned products, technically, it is only recommended to keep them as long as the seal on your lids for that shelf life. Like for the shelf life of your seal on your lids, that is the amount of time that you need to keep these, which is 18 to 24 months. Some things I do keep longer than that, and we eat and enjoy them. But as soon as the 18 to 24 month rolls around, like whenever we hit that mark, if I feel like my family and I are just probably not going to eat these things, I do technically go ahead and usually pitch things around that area. But these things can last much longer than that. Just know that the recommended kind of like best by date to use this stuff is 18 to 24 months. I actually had somebody comment on one of my Facebook videos a while back, and they said that their grandmother had passed away, but she was really, really big into canning. So she had a pantry much like mine downstairs, and they had popped open, I think it was grape jelly that was like 12 years old and tried it, and it was still good. So, I mean, things like that do happen. I mean, I'm probably not going to do that, but I thought that that was really cool that their grandma preserved food and they were still able to eat from her preservation projects that many years later. And then these are a bunch of pickled items. These are from 22. This is pickled Brussels sprouts. I like them, but I just didn't go through them. Not only that, you guys, but whenever I first started preserving food, I processed my pickling items for 10 minutes, and it's not my favorite way to do that. I do it much different now. So a lot of these were processed that way and are just like mush, which is not fun to open a jar and eat it that way. So these got to go too. Also, don't forget, if you open a jar and it's something that you wouldn't eat, if your animals can eat it, that's also a win. None of the jams and jellies or pickling products or like sauces and things like that I can give to my chickens. But if it's something else that's still edible, you can give it to your livestock. Pickled Brussels sprouts is definitely on my list to remake though, because they were good. I think the jars just got lost in and amongst all of the other things that I had, and I kind of forgot I even had them. I got all of those boxes and jars upstairs. They are in the dishwasher currently. So that'll be like kind of the last thing that I have to do is just bring all of those extra jars and put them up here. As far as household stuff, I still have a ton in the garage that I need to get down here, but I think instead of doing that today, I'm going to wait and do that another time, take some inventory, go through the stuff out there, and then put that back. My daughter is actually on a shopping trip with with her grandma right now, and they are on their way home. So I kind of want to get like as much more of this done as I possibly can, and then maybe we'll finish it up on another like future video. I also have to get all of the chick stuff put in here. They are not going to be in here permanently because if you like have had chicks, you know they're really dusty. So this space is just going to house them for a little bit. So I got to get that set up, and we'll go through that in a future video. But I'm looking at this stuff, right? And so I think I kind of want to have like all of my canning stuff and like the food, groceries, you know, anything additionally that I bring down here, kind of like half of this space over. And then the rest of it I will use for household stuff. So some of these shelves, like all of my fruits, for instance, whenever I go to make jams and jellies, like I'm gonna need additional space to put that stuff with this. So I'm thinking about moving some of this stuff over a little bit and changing the location on a couple things. I also have a bunch of ready-made meals in a jar that we made together, along with another box upstairs that I need to bring down really quickly of just some more tomato products and like chili and stuff. So I'm trying to think about how I want to do this. So I know like my tomato products can probably stay here, but I'm thinking about moving all of those green beans and corn maybe like on the other side over here, because I kind of feel like that goes with that better than it does with my tomato products. I don't know. I just like, it's hard. You know what I mean? It's hard to like put things in places until like you can actually visualize it. But I guess we are just going to start kind of migrating things around. And I have a bunch more jars right here. So for the time being, I will get a flat to put all of these in. But just for now, I'm going to get them at least out of my way on this shelf. Okay, so if I take all of the corn and green beans and put it over here, then that opens this space up for the corn, green beans, and then potatoes. We need to do those as well. So I think I'm going to start with that. I'm going to start getting that over there, or from over there over here at least, just because I think that this will go with things a little bit better. And if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. Like, I'm totally winging this. I guess like sometimes I have OCD about things, but then other times I just kind of like put things in places, and you know what I mean? Like I try not to over stress myself out about it. So if you guys have any suggestions on how you would organize this, I would love to know down below. I am always open to your guys' suggestions and help. Okay, so definitely like that a little bit better. And then, because I do other tomato products, I just didn't this year because of like us moving and everything, but I opened all of that space up. So that will be nice to have additional space for tomato products because we go through a lot of that. But then, so let me think here. Let me move all of this stuff out of our way. Okay, and then I'm also gonna go ahead and move down some of my pickling products to stop like right about here, because that way whenever I make my jams and jellies, I can put it with the fruit stuff. So I'm just gonna take all of these and move them over here instead. So I just moved all of that down, but I still don't feel like that's enough room. So I'm gonna scoot it down even more. Okay, so then that just opens that area up for like jams and jellies and things like that to go with my fruit. I was gonna put like condiments and stuff up there as well, but you know what? I think I'm gonna do condiments on this shelf down here. So I have 2 blueberry vinaigrette jars that need to go down here. And then we also have some peach barbecue sauce up here. And I actually haven't gotten to try this peach barbecue sauce yet, but whenever I was making it, it tasted really good. So I am very excited to be able to use this at some point. And then I have a bunch of peach jam that can go up here. Okay, and then I also have a bunch of just regular barbecue sauce. And then this is some hot sauce. And then I also have mango habanero wing dip. Can go down there. Okay, and then I think in this area right here, I'm gonna do ready-made meals in a jar. So that'll kind of go with all of the regular like ingredient jars, I guess you could say. And then we still gotta find a place to do all of my dehydrated stuff. So let's do, I have tons down here. And then also really quickly, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and redo this chicken broth because I have some roast jars. This is just pre-cut up roast that I pressure canned. It needs to go over here where the meat is as well. So I am just going to get this back in order here real quickly because I have used a lot of chicken broth lately. And then I have more jars of that roast. I just don't know. Oh, you know what? I found one. So here's one more, and then here's the other one. And if you've never tried just canning regular roast meat, it's so good for like a sandwich. Like you can just heat it up, add some barbecue sauce or whatever seasonings you want. It makes a really, really quick lunch. And then here is a bunch of chicken noodle soup that we canned together. Then I also have a bunch of taco soup. And then we also have several jars of pot roast with potatoes and carrots. Don't yell at me. I know you're not supposed to stack jars, but I'm just doing that for right now. We'll probably just use that one like within the next couple days for dinner. Okay, and then by all of my pickles, I'm gonna go ahead and do sauerkraut. So I do 2 kinds. I do the purple kind every single year, and then we have an entire crock upstairs fermenting right now, and I will can up a like white batch of sauerkraut with you guys here in just a couple weeks. And then the last little bit of stuff is just to find a space for all of my dehydrated stuff. I don't have that many jars of it. I will determine a spot to put it. I just don't want to put all of it on like the bottom shelf. I really don't want to put jars on the bottom shelf because I feel like it's going to be really hard to grab them. So just for right now, I'm going to leave my dehydrated goodies just right here on this little space, and then I will find a permanent home for them later on. Okay, so like I said, I don't have much. So those are a bunch of dehydrated tomatoes, and then I also have a bunch of dehydrated basil. I love giving basil away as a Christmas gift. If you dehydrate herbs, such a good gift idea. I keep a lot of this on hand every single year and grow a lot for gifts specifically. So I have 2 jars of these and more upstairs. And then I have a bunch of dehydrated onion tops, 2 jars of those. And then this is just a bunch of dehydrated onions. And then I also have a bunch of dehydrated celery leaves. And then carrots, garlic, and then these are whole dehydrated jalapenos. And like I said, I don't have very much of it, so that'll be a good little space for this for the time being. I wanted to show you guys really quickly. So I did go ahead and pull out a couple of these little shelves, and I put all of the peach jam up here actually. So then hopefully you guys can see what I'm talking about. Then you have all of this space down below and up top. So I used one here. And then I also went ahead and used one down here for all of my dehydrated stuff. Now these pint jars will fit under this, so then I still have room for tons more tomato products. So I think I'm actually going to invest in a couple more of these because that is a really great way to maximize all of this space. All right, you guys, well, I got everything put where it needs to go. Like I said, I just have one more box of stuff that needs to come down here. I still do have stuff in the garage that needs to come down here, but I have been working on doing all of this, washing the jars, getting the food out of the jars, like cleaning, doing all of that stuff basically for the majority of my day. So I just want to say thank you. This is super exciting, and like I'm really proud of this space, and I love being able to share it with you guys. We still have a long way to go in here. We have many shopping trips coming up that we are going to bulk buy, find bulk deals, fill up these shelves together, but it is super nice to know that I have like this abundant space to accommodate all of my preserving and just all of my hobbies and interests. So I really appreciate you guys spending the day with me down here and just chipping away at this project with me. I can't wait to show you the future videos that come out of how we continue to transform this space, how we continue to learn together, how we continue to improve the space together, learn from one another. Like it just, thank you. Like it really means a lot. So I'm going to go upstairs and spend some time with Sissy, and then I got to get going on the chick stuff as well. So look out for that video. We have babies set to hatch in about 4-ish days. So I'll walk you guys through that entire process. It's going to be so incredibly fun, and I cannot wait to show you them. But anywho, guys, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. Thank you guys all for watching. And as always, I will see you in next week's video. Bye, friends.